All right. Where are you at?
So I was just about to say, that's what I was asking. How long are you in San Diego for? I'm in San Diego right now.
Oh, I'll be here till tomorrow at my flight leaves at 2.
Oh, you are not playing around. What a turnaround.
Well, I couldn't let moms be by herself for Christmas all the way through, so
Oh, God bless you for it. Well, if mom's ever needs anything, I drive through Escondido all the time because most of my work is in Orange County, LA.
yeah.
And I'm still in San Diego. I'm pretty close to downtown, actually. I'm in University Heights.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah. What's
Hey
up?
guys. Hello,
Krys,
hello.
good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Rose.
Hi. I was just telling everybody before you guys got on, I literally walked into the hotel 4 minutes before 10.
Oh, are you guys still out?
No, I flew to San Diego to visit my mom, so I literally just
Right.
landed.
Okay. Well, thanks for making it into the hotel room.
I know. I told Steven if I don't make it, I'll just stay at the rental center and take the call there, then head over after, but it all worked out. So cool.
I do like 50% of my Zoom calls from the car these
Yeah,
days.
I
So it's
figured.
like,
We usually work in the car most of the time, so.
yeah.
All right. So we'll give people a couple more minutes, but we'll go ahead
Is
and
most everybody in the Bay? Is most of this group from NorCal all across the country?
right now, yes.
NorCal people?
Dina, where are you at? Dina might not be.
Oh, I'm in San Diego, but I am originally from the Bay Area.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
You're
nice.
local to me where
Yes.
I'm now.
And all agents from different brokerages just collaborating, masterminding, trying to get better for ourselves and for 2024. So it's
I
a great
love
group of
it.
people. Great group of
Very
people.
cool. Very cool. I lived in Tahoe for a bunch of years and worked in Reno, so that's like my NorCal connection. Um, I love the Bay. I used to go to the city a lot when I was living out there.
That's
Very cool
awesome.
city. Yeah.
Yeah, we love Tahoe and Reno too. Steven goes out to Truckee to snowboard with our son a lot. So
Hard to beat. Hard to beat.
for sure. For sure.
We saw you speak in Oakland,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
all right? That was the second time.
Yeah.
And
That
that's
was a
when
lot
you
of
met
fun.
Robbie, our future son-in-law, and you're
Oh
giving
my
him
gosh.
some a 1-2,
Already.
man. That was cool.
Yeah. Good guy. Good kid.
All right, you guys, so let's go get started. I'm going to just introduce you guys to Krys. So here's a little fun facts about Krys. So after graduating from law school, Krys took his passion to advocate and worked as a public defender. There he handled felony trial cases ranging from minor DUIs to attempted murders and sexual assaults. In 2018, Krys met his beautiful wife and ultimately decided to move back to Southern California, where he grew up and where she was beginning her surgical residency. Since returning, Krys has joined his mother and father, who have been in the industry since 1989 at their boutique brokerage, All Stars Realty in Norwalk. Krys focuses on his team, Estate of Grace, where they have leveraged video-first marketing. As a result, he has been invited to speak on stage with world's premier real estate coach, Tom Ferry, as well as appearing on podcasts and real estate office sales meeting. Since joining, is it Nahed? What is
Yeah.
that?
Nahid.
Nahid in 2018, he and Estate of Grace have been ranked in the top 1 to 2 positions out of more than 5,000 agents in closed transactions for the Greater Downey Association of Realtors, selling more than 100 homes annually. Outside of real estate, Krys enjoys spending time with his family and climbing. He recently returned from touching the summit of Mount Everest, the largest mountain in the world, and is currently preparing to leave for Aconcagua. Say that for me.
It's a hard one. Aconcagua.
The largest peak in the Americas. So let's welcome Krys. Hey, Krys, what's going on?
What's up, everybody? Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know we've heard you speak several times. Our first time was being at the Tom Ferry Summit, and we just absolutely loved your energy and saw you again speak in Oakland, and just your whole take on being personable and really treating people as if you guys have known each. I mean, I feel like I've known you for a while and we just met. So thank you so much for being here and just being part of our group right now.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. And like so many faces I recognize. Jeraine, I see you down there. There's somebody else I thought I recognized.
Eris is here.
Yeah, Jerry, you look kind of familiar. I don't know if it's just I don't know. There's a handful of familiar faces. Perla, you look kind of familiar. Good to see many of you guys again, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I'm stoked on 2024. I don't know what to say. I think as we come into the new year, there's obviously like a lot of excitement, like there always is. I think there's a lot of fear, like there always is, and uncertainty, which is pretty typical. And I think for the real estate world, it's kind of interesting because it feels like that there was so much negative headlines up until the last, what, like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. It kind of feels like the energy of the media is changing, which is really nice, I think, coming like as wind behind our backs. But I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't really expecting that. And at the same time, you never really know how long something is good's going to last. And I think that applies to like everything, you know, mindset in the business. You really don't know how long the positives will be positive for and the negatives will be negative for. So I think it's important, similar to when the market, like with what happens in the market, is to really not get too caught up in any of it and just do what you should do like whether like the sun is shining or not shining. So this morning, transparently, I sort of wanted to treat it like an open forum. I have a lot of stuff that I want to share with you guys, things that I'm planning to work on my business, just little tactic type things that I could share with you. I kind of have like an a la carte menu of ideas or just strategies that I'm applying that I want to share with you guys. But I really want you guys to feel comfortable to just sort of like raise the digital hand or jump in. It's a lot more fun when it's collaborative. So 2024, I'm sure a lot of us are working on many things. Has everyone sort of loosely at least written out, even if it's on their iPhone notes or Android notes, some goals by a show of real hands, digital hands? Has everybody done something? Okay. I love that. That's like huge progress. And if you haven't, it's not a big deal because it's only December 19th. And the truth is, if you don't get around to it till January 1st, it's okay because so long as you do it, you're doing better than most people. So out of everybody that's written something down, has everybody written down like, well, give me some ideas of what we've written down. Have we written down like how many transactions we want to have in 2024?
Yeah.
Have we written down like, I don't know, how many vacations we want to go on?
No.
Probably not. Me neither. Yeah, you have. Jermaine, I want to say your name right. Jermaine?
Yeah, it's like Jermaine Jackson.
Yeah, what a beautiful name, Jermaine.
Oh, thank you.
You have written down. Has anybody else written down like how many vacations they want to go on? I love that. Christina, 5, Perla, Jeraine. I'm learning from you guys because I'm not quite there yet. What about like, I don't know, maybe a day of the week or a day of the month that they want? I hope it's more than once a month, like spend time with their partners or their families. Yeah, good. So the reason I'm throwing this stuff out there is because I am like learning because I am learning as I'm going through this journey. I'm 33 now. And I've been like working since I graduated law school at 25. So I've been working now, what is that, like 8 years? And I just had a baby. He's only 9 months, so that's new. I've been married like 2 years, so that's new. And it's the first time in my life that maybe some of you guys can relate to this. It's the first time in my life that I've had other things other than me that I care about or that I'm focused on or that like really take my attention. And I've always had big goals and things that I chase, but different than like a baby or a child or a wife and spouse. So the reason why I'm saying those things is because I think it's not easy to get what we want, but I think we generally seem to accomplish it, especially like high achieving people, type A personalities on webinars like this are generally the people that are like setting goals, accomplishing them. And at least for me, I seem to forget all the things that I want to take care of outside of selling houses. So a couple of things that before we jump into like tactics and strategies that I'm keeping on my horizon for goals that I want to accomplish or things that I want to make part of my routine that I'm really just trying to be consistent with is like time with my family, like non-negotiable time with my family where I'm not on my phone. I'm not like trying to think of stuff to make for content because like I really try to be present, but like, you know, if I'm filming something or thinking of an idea, how present am I really? So if I put it down, I just feel like I'm that much closer to doing it. The other thing that I'm trying to make purposeful this year is like spirituality. If you're not spiritual, that's okay if you believe in meditation, but I just think it's important to put that on like the business plan because you're likely going to get the 20 million in sales, Jorge. The chances are volume of 20 million, like you're going to get it. But one thing that I'm really trying to ask myself now, and it's not like I've hit all the success that I want, not even like a fraction, like I'm really chasing it. I just don't want to lose myself on the pursuit. And that's the piece that I'm really trying to figure out is because not so long ago, I was, you guys remember when all those articles were coming about Elon sleeping under his desk?
Yeah.
Elon wasn't leaving Tesla. And when they started publicizing those articles, I remember I showed it to my wife and I said, this guy's my role model. Like, this guy's incredible to be so passionate about something, to be so obsessed with his idea. Like, that's really inspiring to me. And then she just very kindly presented to me, have you ever thought about how he's on his second and third wife? Have you ever thought about he has like a few kids that don't even keep his name because they like don't want to be associated with him? And honestly, I never thought about those things. I never thought about those things. So as you guys are designing like the Germain of 2024 and the Perla of 2024, design it in something that you aspire to be. Like I'm trying to design my Krys to be like the person that I want to be. And then simply I just do those things that somebody who is that like superhero does. Does that make sense? And I think when you start operating that way, it's like a lot easier. And it's like a cheesy example, but like, you know, if in my mind's eye, I sell 100 houses, I have like a big mountain to train for, I'm present at dinner with my family every night, I go to church on Sunday, I get my workouts in. Like, if in my mind's eye, I am all of those things, it seems easier to wake up in the morning because you just do what that superhero does. Does that make sense? And then there's less guesswork. I know that there's people from different brokerages here, but some of you guys were at the Real conference in San Diego. Yeah, a handful. So I'm not a Real agent myself, but I was also at the Real conference, and Alex Hermosi said something that I thought was like really powerful. He was just like, well, I'm gonna fuck up what he said. He said something along the lines of just do what you need to do. Do you guys remember that? He was like, just do. And I love how simple and profound that is. You just gotta find, and for me it's just like visual because you don't really want to like try to be anybody that you're not, but you just like visualize what the rock star Steve is, or like how does like the rock star Jermaine look, and then you just start acting that way every single day. And that's kind of lame, but it's like exactly, I think, the way to do it. And I just feel like it's important for you to have some like family goals and personal stuff because it keeps everything else in line. All right, real estate and sales and making money, because that's what we care about. Who is making, we can touch on some content. Who's making videos? Show of hands, everybody. Everybody's making videos. Everybody's making videos. So we're making a lot of videos. One thing for me is leveraging where the videos go and how they can get more reach and how I can kind of like squeeze the lemon as hard as I can out of everything. And this is one thing that we are now doing. Feel free to chime in because I imagine like Norm is going to have an easier way to maybe do this, but this is like my formula right now that's working pretty smooth for me. So blogs are a big thing on our websites, right? You guys know how like blogs are like the blood of SEO, and it can really just be that like lifelong juice for your website for people to come find you. Well, it's not super novel, but it's kind of new for me that we're turning all of our videos into like proper blog posts. I used to just regurgitate our content into a blog, and now we're taking it to like the ninth degree. So very simply, if you go to YouTube, are you guys publishing your videos on YouTube?
Yes.
Perfect. If you make a short form video and then you publish it to YouTube and you select English as a language, it's going to transcribe your whole video. You guys know that? After you take the transcription of your video, I'll send this to Rose afterwards so you guys have this and she can share it with everybody. I wrote like a basic ChatGPT prompt that I use every single time, and it includes keywords from my market. And all I'm doing is I take the transcript of my video, I put it with the prompt that I wrote and the keywords that I've selected for my market, and then it writes me a blog post with headings and titles that somebody on my team is simply copy and pasting onto my website. The nice thing about turning our videos into blog posts is that with like new, I don't know how new this is, but with different tech, like with different products, like this is free. It's called Google Search Console. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
So there's this thing, this is totally free. It's called Google Search Console. With things like Google Search Console, you can begin to see how people are finding you on your website. So for me, for example, it's really funny, and I don't think I'm going to make a bunch more content like this, but like when I'm looking at the search query, there was like 12 people that came to my website because they searched dead bodies on Everest. And the only reason they ever saw that is because like I think I was on a podcast where I talked about it was like something content related that was on my website. But it's really interesting to see how people are discovering you so that you can leverage it. The other thing that I discovered is that like my name was being searched a lot, not necessarily Los Angeles Realtor. So Google Search Console wasn't really the tip that I was giving, but that is like an easy tip for everybody to download that and get it plugged into your website, because the analytics are big. I think if 2024 should be nothing, if you're not committed to anything in 2024, I would encourage you to be committed about like the analytics and tracking of things, because it's what you need to get better. And there's like a handful of, I mean, I think a lot of people here are producing at a high level. How do you produce at a higher level when you already feel like you're firing off on all cylinders? It's kind of rhetorical, but like I really mean that. Like, it's not easy to, like, if you pick up a new sport, it's probably easier to get good at just like learning how to do it than learning how to master it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of the same thing when you're starting to get good at real estate. And some of you guys might be feeling that way. If you're stuck at a certain number, who's doing like 5 to 10 transactions? Too low? Who's doing 5 to 10? 10 to 15? 15 plus? 20 plus? How long has 25 plus? How long has everyone sort of been doing those numbers for? 1 year, Jermaine, 1 year. Steve, how many years we've been floating in the 20s?
Well, last year was a slow year for us. We moved from the Bay Area to Rockland, knowing nobody. So last year was just a lot of planting seeds, really, really putting the work in. And then 2023 rebounded. So it's been a really good year, and hopefully next year will be even better.
I love that. What about anybody else? I guess, Perla, you had your hand raised. How many years you've been floating around your numbers? Oh, that's okay. I got
3 years.
3 years. Okay. So sort of like predictable and steady. Like you kind of know what to do. I don't know, 3 years is a good amount of time to figure something out. The reason why I'm asking you guys to think about it is because we turn on autopilot quicker than you think. You know what I'm saying? Like you turn on the routine quicker than you think. And the same way that like I don't know what's on autopilot for some of you guys. Like for me, it's like pretty autopilot to like post my content in the morning and go to gym. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of mindless. It's so mindless sometimes that you have to check yourself because you find yourself going through the motions and it's like ends up being worthless. You guys ever know what I mean? Like, you know that feeling? It's
Yeah.
like, you don't want to fall into that. And I think it's easy to fall into that when you do something so regularly. So the reason why I'm pushing Google Search Console, the reason why I'm asking you guys to sort of keep a loose eye on your numbers this year, whatever it is that you're doing, is because how do you break out of what you're up to if you don't know what you've been doing? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So it's okay if you haven't done it this year, or use 2023 as the opportunity. So who's tracking like appointments, conversations? What metrics are anybody tracking? Is anybody tracking any metrics?
We're starting to.
Somebody just throw out the kind of metrics we're tracking. Jerry and Jermaine, I saw your hands up top.
We're tracking impressions with social media. So specifically, like I run the Dream Real Estate Group IG and then our own personal one. We went all in on real estate. So it's our first year. And so like we didn't know what down market was and all those things. We just knew we just needed to hit our goals and try to focus on like the atomic habits every day. And just like we just knew data was gonna give us the North Star, right? So like as long as we kept being consistent and there's, you know, a little bit of an uphill every week, we saw that as a win. And so as we started looking at our impressions, because we used to use Boomtown and we used to track like, okay, well, that was 30 impressions. Well, now we were like, well, why can't we do it on a grander scale? You're going from 30 impressions and utilizing social media that can get you like 3,000 impressions. So we started to think like, we gotta do things smarter. So that's what we started tracking social media on that end. And then for metrics, we used our CRM
Nice.
for calls and stuff.
And you guys are tracking calls, conversations, appointments, all that stuff?
Yeah, so right now we're building that out. We went from a husband and wife team to now a team of 12. And, we set our goals for next year, and everything that we're doing right now is focused at a very, we went from very high level to what does it take every single day and having a checklist for the day as far as what we're looking to do. But, as far as a minimum expectation is 2 real estate conversations every single day. Those 2 leads have to be inputted into our CRM, right? And that way we'll have a transparent dashboard as far as what our activity looks like.
I love that. That is like the creme de la creme when you can boil it down to just the daily activity. And Jerry, I'm curious, how are you guys keeping track of everything? That's always something that I struggle with, like practically speaking. Like, is the CRM on the cell phone? Are we using the notes and then transcribing it later? How are you doing it?
Yeah, so I know our team's on it right now. We had a pretty direct conversation about it this morning in terms of activity. So we are still trying to figure it out. I think we are leaning toward a daily form that each agent will fill out every single day. And once it is inputted, we'll have a dashboard where we can follow up every single morning as far as the previous day's activity.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the best ways to do it. From my experience, and like it's limited, it's not easy because all of us are on the move. You know what I mean? Like everybody right now, that's not true. Jorge's on the move, literally. I got a bunch of cameras off. You guys might be on the move. It's not common for all of us to always be sitting behind a desk. Like I know that I'm prospecting behind the wheel. It's hard to be tracking everything. Jerry is on the money though, because when we don't track or when we fail to keep track of where things are coming from, it's really hard for us to figure out what to take energy away from and where to put energy towards. And we only have like so much bandwidth. So I think it's really awesome. And that kind of was going to be one thing I was talking about is, do we have an idea? And this is like generally because everyone has different goals. Oh, sorry, George. Does everyone have an idea what sort of daily actions in 2024 that they are thinking about focusing on? Because like I think that with COVID and with where the market was, a lot of us lost track. Who was selling houses during COVID? Every handful. Everyone. Okay. Everyone that didn't raise their hands started selling houses post COVID.
Yes.
I think you guys are in a wonderful advantage. I really think that you guys are the most privileged on this call. And the reason I say that is because, like, ignorance is bliss. And all you know is all you know. All you know is all you know. And I think half the issue with like our industry, this is like, fuck, I'm going off the rails, but like, is everyone commiserating on how hard it is? It's supposed to be hard. My wife is a plastic surgeon. she should not be making less money than me when she's taking apart people's faces. You feel me? And for me to make that kind of money, I better be working just as much, if not more than her. So I think this idea of like how hard it is really normal. And I guess one thing that I'm thinking about for 2024 is how do you make it fun? How do you gamify things? And how do you make it in a way that you're working, but you get satisfaction out of the struggle? Because keep in mind, we are not competing against Facebook or Zuckerberg or Google. Like, we're competing against each other. And I mean this with love. Rose, I mean this with love to everybody. But you're competing with somebody who's traveling to go visit their mom, right? And like setting up a Zoom call on the car on the way. You feel me? Like, you're competing against somebody who's doing a Zoom call driving. You're competing against somebody who like ran out of the house like to give their kid to their babysitter. The point that I'm highlighting this is that we are competing against normal people, and in order for us to win, we have to find like value and fun in it, and we also have to get a little bit crazy about what we want. And I don't know like how to split, like those are my two kind of, has anybody thought about like words for 2024? You guys thought about that? Like, you know how people say like give me a word to sum up your like your year?
Mindset, connections.
Connections. I love that. Connections.
Yeah, we focus on a heartfelt collective for our own team, just because again that's what we're trying to attract. But internally we're trying to focus on that because externally we know the output will show it. But as a big piece for us, it's just a heartfelt collective that allows us to hold each other accountable
I love
at
that.
any given time.
I love that. These are the things that you guys point back to. The two words that I've been coming back to is intensity. Intensity. I used to be really bothered when people called me intense, and then I was just like, yeah, I'm fucking intense. What is it? Like intensity and fun. And you can have both of them at the same time. So a lot of you guys are on a team together. Some of you guys are on a team together. I know Mark. Where'd Jordan go? Where is
Joanne's
she?
right there.
Oh, you're right there. During it's because I see two of you, and I was like, one of them's a note taker. So I know that you guys are together. Obviously, Rose and Steve, Jerry, you have a few people together.
Rose and Steve. I'm just kidding. You know, there's a lot of teams on here. So you have me and Steven, Jareen and Mark. You have the dream team, which is Jerry, Jermaine, Christina, Naveed, Gary, and Jamie. George is with the fast team. So we
I love it.
have a lot of teams here.
So these are like a couple accountability things that I do with my team for fun that I think is like good little things to put into practice. So like, are you guys role playing? We like to role play, right? So I like to role play and I like to make it a little game. One thing that was like right before I got onto this Zoom, we do the how's the market game. And you can only ask every question with a question. So Jerry, this is good for you. This is like good team leader type stuff because this is how you guys work together to be like this is how people perform. So is anybody role playing?
No.
It's almost role playing in the content in itself because you have to put yourself on video. So, we challenge our team to collaborate on our videos because again, they are putting themselves in front of a camera that allows them to talk to their audience.
I love it. I love it. But if we have goals like selling $20 million, Jerry, what's our team goal for volume?
It's a lot. So we I think there's two perspectives for us because we're growing. Each agent, we are expecting 12 transactions each. We are trying to scale to a team of 100 next year.
No. But like, I want to put a bow tie on our goals because like, if it's like with a gray, that's not like, so what's our target? What's our goal for next year? What's on like a board?
Well,
Is
Jerry, don't you guys have a personal transaction closing and then like what your team total goal is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lev is in 180,
180
No.
transactions.
180 million. Is that what you were saying?
No,
Yeah.
no, well, we're not at that scale yet, but what we have on the board is 720 million. 720 million, 12 transactions per agent, $600,000 average price point.
Beautiful. That was more complicated than I wanted to make it. So Mark, how many transactions are we trying to sell next year?
We're trying to do 60.
60. So everybody knows, and I hope everybody knows, to sell 60 houses, There's no fucking way that we only make videos to do it. Ooh, sorry, Naveed. I did not mean to drop that right.
You're okay. You're on my AirPods, so
Oh,
she can't hear
thank the
anything
Lord.
anyways. She's busy listening to Miss Rachel.
He's like, wait, let
Excuse
me
me, that's
hear.
mine.
You know, there's something juicy. in
She did. She tried to take my headphone off right now.
I see.
So the reason I'm saying this is because like I love the content, I love the videos, I love that we're role playing to get better on video, but like this is a hella like I love making content, but like we're definitely on the phones, right? Like everyone knows that a big piece to hit these goals is like super. How are you guys acquiring a lot of the business right now, Jerry? On the phones or via video?
Social media, and interaction engagement from there.
Just like they start with a DM.
Yep.
And then it goes to the phone.
To a conversation. Yep.
And sure. Okay, so eventually it turns to the phone.
Yes, always.
Always. So I guess that's the point that I'm trying to make with all of this is like our ability to be good on the phone is going to be what takes making calls for like 5 hours a day to like 2 hours a day. And it's going to be sort of what I think like has us accomplish these goals because like video is great, video is king, video is going to be what brings you 100 agents and what's going to keep us in the business in 10 years. But I do think that like a big piece of everything that all of us are doing, if we're focused on selling, if we're not selling anymore because we're like team leaders and we're organizational and we're structural, then you're not really prospecting. But if I'm talking to the people that are like selling, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So like if you were to ask Tom Ferry, and this number is bunk in my opinion, but the business plan says 40 conversations to 1 transaction. He says if you have 40 conversations, you'll get 1 transaction. Do you guys think that's true?
It depends on where you generate them from.
That's a great statement. Does anybody know how many conversations it takes for them to get 1 transaction?
I could talk not from real estate, but from other industries that, you know, and what they've taught us over the past 2 decades, it was like 7 no's to get to a yes.
That's another good one. That's definitely another good metric. But this is why we track, guys, because in order for us to get surgical about like the daily disciplines that it would require for us to hit these big goals, 180 million or 180 transactions.
It's a little bit more than that. Yeah.
Transactions or sales volume.
I'm gonna use Mark because you guys' numbers are making me hard. Okay, if I wanted to sell 70 houses next year and I wanted to think about what my daily actions that I had to do, at least from my experience and my approach, separate from social media, a lot of that is conversations that I'm having. Conversations, you're right, could be via video, social media, they could be via door knocking, they could be via open houses, they can be wherever. The reason why we do them on the phones is because it's the easiest way to knock out like volume, right? So if we were to use Tom Ferry's number of 40 and we want to sell 70 houses next year, that means that we have to have 2,800 conversations in 2024. If we were going to work 260 days, we were going to take 5 days, we were going to work 5 days a week, and we were going to take the weekends off and every single holiday. That means that we have to have 10.7 real estate conversations every single day. I don't think 40 is an accurate number unless the lead source is like your sphere, something that like they know you, like you, trust you.
Yeah.
And unless you're like a mega closer. I think realistically for newer people and where the climate of the market is, it's probably closer to 100. So if your goal was to sell 70 houses and you were a new agent, I would estimate that you are going to have closer to 7,000 conversations. For what it's worth, you guys heard of you guys know who Jimmy Mackin is? Curator.
Yeah.
Jimmy Mackin had like a young pupil who was tracking all his numbers, and he had 1,000 conversations before he signed 1 listing.
Wow.
Wow.
So I only throw these out there to you guys because if you don't know your numbers, you might be like, it's just important to know them. So if 7,000 is how many conversations we have, and we're going to work 260 work days, that means that we are going to have 27 conversations a day. I encourage you guys to look at what your numbers are because Jerry, I'm not here to call you out, and I definitely don't know who's on your team, but I don't think in this market, anybody is selling 12 houses having 2 conversations a day. I mean, that with,
Sorry,
Pardon?
it was finding 2 leads.
oh, 2 leads.
Yeah, that answer what one?
Perfect. 2 leads a day is a great metric. I think 20 conversations for the people that have big goals is a big pill to swallow, but that's where the intensity comes in. And that's where like the big why comes in. And that's where it has to be a little bit of fun, right? So for all the social media people that really like social, every single day I have a challenge with my team. We do 5 video messages a day and we send a screenshot of our messages right after we're done with it. And it's like an honor system accountability thing. It's a way to gamify stuff. It's a way to make it fun. And it's a way just to like keep people engaged, right? So if you guys were to open up Instagram, this is the way that we do it to make it very simple because you do not want to get sucked into the feed. I would look at my stories. I would see that the first person that's not a real estate agent or not in the business is this guy right here named Connor Climbing. This is a mountain guide. He's not really in my market, but this is what I'm going to do because I want to be quick. Connor has posted clearly a wedding picture.
Ooh.
Very nice. I'm going to go to my messages. I'm going to click on messages. I'm going to turn on my camera. And then I'm going to send 5 of these every single day without much more thought than this. Connor, my man, I really hope that we connect in 2024. Would love to climb with you, but I saw that I think you just got married. Congratulations, man. God bless. Happy holidays. Hopefully he doesn't watch this Zoom.
I could see it.
We send
I
5.
love that. It was so good.
Thank you. So we send 5 every single day, or we try to send 5 every single day. And the reason is a fewfold. I'm trying to have like 10 conversations a day. So me personally, my personal goal for next year is 51 listings, 51 listings. And my goal to accomplish that is going to be like about 11 conversations with sellers a day. That's like kind of my goal. That helps me get closer to my goal of conversations. 1, I'm posting content every single day. So it's putting my content in like front of new people. 2, it's like, or not new people, but it's putting my content in front of them like immediately. It's juicing the algorithm. It's seriously, in my opinion, one of the least like, how would I say this? I like asking for people's social media more than I like asking for their phone number these days, especially when it comes, well, it's always tough when it comes to ladies. I think like when I meet a girl, there's always like a question of what people's like motives are, but I will find that generally speaking, I like asking for people's handles more than their phone number because if they don't pick up the phone, at least I know they're going to see my content when I post it.
Yeah, Steven's pretty good about that too. He'll meet people from different places that we are, and he's like, "Hey, what's your Instagram? I'll follow you."
Yeah, so that's like a little tactic thing. There's a guy named Matthew Easton. I love this guy named Matthew Easton. He is not a real estate sales advisor. He's just a sales coach, purely sales. I like how like intense he is. Matthew Easton. There's little language changes that you pick up on from all these people. This was an exactly what to say thing. And Steven, if you're asking for people for their Instagram handles, it's always, what's your Instagram handle? Not, can I have your Instagram handle? Hey, what's your phone number? There was like a strategy, and this was like a Tom Ferry thing that he was talking about on stage, and it was like all psychological. When you go up to somebody and ask for their phone number, instead of looking at them in the eye, you're already down at the phone, assuming that they've given you the phone number. So I'm looking at you right now, Norm. I'm looking at you and I'm going to say, hey, Norm, what's a good number for you? You feel me?
925-325-1333.
I have it. Thank you. Do you guys see my point? So the reason why and these are all, so I'm kind of like stream of consciousness, things that I'm sharing that are important to me in 2024. I'm trying to gamify parts of the business because I want to stay motivated. I want to be okay with the intensity that I have because I'm fucking intense and it's just the way that I am. And it's just like, I'm super passionate about business. I'm super passionate about my family. I'm really passionate about my private stuff. There's nothing embarrassed about. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. And I also think that this like lackluster energy that a lot of us have is not going to be what it takes to hit our goals. Like, period. You know what I'm saying? So like, just be very honest with what you want, because if you want something big, there's no other way than being like intense about it. And I think that's okay. Gamify things. What else? Does anybody have any questions? I have like other little strategies that I'm applying.
I'm an intense dude when I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like I'm getting better because I realize I do need to meet people and I do need to have conversations, and it's a great place to do that. But when I show up, I'm not wave. I will wave, I'm getting better at that. But I'm in this freaking zone, right? I want to get the most out of my hour, hour and a half as possible. And when I'm intense like that, I get the most out of the hour and a half. Even if I'm tired, I still try to have that mindset of I'm going to dominate today. Okay, I'm not feeling that good, so I'll get through the workout, but tomorrow I'm going to be even better. I always want to be getting better. So you see me at the gym and I'm just an intense dude, right? And so I always try to, I think last year was a big year. It's like, how do I get that way with work? Because if I can have that intensity with outside of the gym, I'm unstoppable, right? Because I just have nothing but energy and motivation to accomplish as much as possible, right? So it's really, I guess, trying to find that balance outside of, and I've gotten a lot better, but I want to get even better than that.
And I think it's finding a piece of the business, Steven, that like really gives you joy and fulfillment. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you love, like, it doesn't matter whatever it is, but like, if you love the content, you love making content. Like, I love making content. I'm not embarrassed to say that when I'm prospecting or I have like somebody that I'm pursuing as a client, that I'm motivated about the idea that I have for the video I want to make. Or if I see something that inspires me, I begin to manifest it. So it's like, man, I better find a listing for that fucking video idea. And then I start chasing that listing. You know what I mean? So whatever it is that you have that can give you that umph, and it doesn't need to be every piece of it. So we've talked a lot about content, but like, if you don't like content, fuck the content. Get really into something else. You know what I'm saying? Get really into something else. There's people doing, you guys know who Josh Rubin is from New York? Dude, Josh Rubin is an animal. I'm talking about like billions of dollars worth of volume. He is crazy when it comes to sales. And Josh Rubin is doing better on social media, but he's not like the savant. But do you know what he is the savant of? Direct mail. I think that guy sends like 100,000 pieces of mail a month. Something outrageous. And the results prove it. He loves mail, which is kind of funny, but he loves mail. So you just got to find one piece of this that you're really into and like get weird about it. George, I see your hand. My bad, brother.
Oh, no, you're good. Thank you so much. This is such a fire call, especially to start our Tuesday off on in the beginning of the week. So I'm curious because I love how you do that on making those personalized videos, because I've had other creators and people within our industry that have done those, and they make me feel so warm, and I'm like, hell yeah, that person reached out to me. So I know that's something I need to personally do a lot more, but I'm curious, what are your thoughts on many chats? Are you using many chats right now? Because I know some people have it set up on like this automation where every time you tag them, they're like, thanks for tagging me. But then after you tag them a second time in the row, you're like, okay, you kind of lost my trust. So what's your thoughts on many chats?
Yeah, great question, George. I am so like all of you, I'm a business owner and I'm constantly looking at like the cost of things. I have not invested in the paid ManyChat because I just haven't like committed to it. I do think that there is a ton of value in certain components of it. So another thing that I'm working on, like one of my lead pillars or one of my like what would I call it? Like a project that I'm working on in 2024 is lead magnets. You guys know what lead magnets are? I think that so a lead magnet, George, would be, for example, are you thinking about buying a house in 2024? Click this link right here for my free home buying checklist. It's not for an appointment. I don't know why I just went into that fucking pitch, but like, it's just a checklist of some shit. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like a seller checklist. I'm practicing for a video later. It could be a buyer checklist. It's a lead magnet, right? It's something that people want to download. I think ManyChat is excellent for stuff like that. I too feel bothered and a little bit sort of like cheapened when I get the thanks for tagging me bullshit. I do. I don't personally love them. I think that there are a lot of good ways to use ManyChat via lead magnet. I don't know if thanks for tagging me is like the way that I would leverage it personally. Great question. There's so many things to spend money on, which is a challenge. You know what I mean? So another thing that I've been working on in 2024 is how to spend less money. And spending less money is sometimes how do I cut back some of my like resources that I'm not using that much. So I would encourage you guys to look at some of the shit you're spending money on and like, do I need it that much? Is it that effective? Because one way to make $1 million is to make an additional $1 million. One way to make $1 million is to like save the $1 million. You know what I'm saying? A dollar is a dollar. Jermaine.
Have you seen comparables versus like using an iPhone and then professional production in your content? Have you seen any, like one does better than the other for those of us who are doing content? I know consistency is key, but have you like saw like, oh wait, if I have a production team, it actually does a lot better?
No, unfortunately, not really, to be honest. I think that there's like a couple things. No, I don't think so.
No?
I
Okay.
think the reason why is because today, with where iPhones are now and with where like wireless DJI mics are now, everyone's consuming it on their cell phone, and I don't think that you benefit that much from like a Sony or Canon camera. I
Okay.
think where the professional crew comes in is accountability. One, when you're paying for somebody's time, it makes you show up. Two, like expertise and like resource. So like I'm not editing videos. I do a little bit on CapCut because I drive a lot and it's a good way to like get through a commute. Don't judge me. But I don't think my best time is editing videos because it's hard, it's time consuming, right? So I think outsourcing is really beneficial for those reasons. I do not think you have to hire a professional to shoot it for you because
Okay.
their equipment is better.
Yeah.
Got it.
For
No,
us,
that's
for us, our videos that we do ourselves do better. And we have had our videographer come and do like city tours with us and a few other type of content, and views have been actually better with the videos that Steven and I do ourselves, because I think it's more
Okay.
personal.
This is an example I give to people sometimes. And Mark, I know you got your hand raised. For instance, an example, I was having an issue with my fuses going out on my Christmas lights, and I was just putting too many lights in one. And I just wanted a quick answer of how to get past that. Went on a YouTube video. This guy was in his garage. It was messy as can be. The lighting was horrible. He looked like he was tripping over everywhere. I did not care. I was there for the education, and I was very thankful for the education. Watched the video, moved on, right? So like with our videos, there's videos that are just really bad quality. Some are really good. I think as we get better, we naturally want to get better with our quality. We want our sound. People are going to expect that as well. Like these guys have been doing it for a while, you know, and we could invest into that equipment, but people are there for the education, right? So,
Amen. Amen.
right. And then Mark has had his hand up for a while.
What's up, Krys? How's it going, man?
My brother, how are you?
You know, trying to get through these holidays, bro. You know, so but I mean, I want to take this time, you know, first to thank Rose and Steven. You guys are awesome for doing these calls. When I knew Krys was going to be on, I was like, I try to catch his live every single time, but I'm like fanboying on him right now. But I'll catch you on the next conference, bro. But I have a two-part question. One, I know you're bringing back a lot of these like old school things that are happening. That plank thing was hilarious. One, what is your next thing you're gonna bring back? Because it's nostalgic for a lot of us, right? We're like, oh my gosh, I remember that. And I was telling my family during Thanksgiving, I was like, we should do, or I'm sorry, it was a ministry team we had, and we were gonna do like the mannequin challenge. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do it, but it's like they weren't really into it. But I mean, I want to know what your next one that you're gonna come out with, and I'm gonna be trailing you on some of these. And two, how long does it take for you and your team to kind of get these things going? And how long does it take to record?
Yeah, great question. And I really appreciate you, Mark. You and Drain are always like, you bring a smile to my face. I think that with where the market is, houses, it's funny with where the market is. So I'm in Southern California, like some of you guys, and even where the market is, average days on market in like a handful of cities I'm serving in LA is like 15. It's really not very much, although it feels like a lot longer. You know what I mean? The median is like 7 in a handful of cities, but it feels longer. So one of the reasons why I think it's important to be approaching the listings different than we have in the past is because we are sitting on these houses longer. They are taking longer to sell. The consumer is like more educated. They're seeing more of what's happening out there. And what do we like? I just realized that when I make a fancy listing video, and I still like to make them, I drop a video, I promote the shit out of it. It kills it for like a day, if it kills it, whatever that version of killing means, and then it's done. The clouds close, the seller's house is still for sale. I got nothing to share the next day. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it didn't feel like the right approach. So now with the listings, my thought process is, what can I create that's original or not original, based off a trend, but obviously like inspired? What can I create that isn't going to like break the bank when it comes to financial resources or time resources? Because I don't want to spend multiple days at a listing. And what is going to get engagement? Because if you're not leveraging the impressions at your listing appointments, you're missing opportunities, right? Like I know that in 2023, I think it's going to shake out to be like a little bit more than 3 million impressions or something. And that's something that I like want to blast in people's face. You know what I mean? It's like, these are the eyeballs that I get that the MLS doesn't give you. So you keep track of all those things. When you go to your next listing, I would encourage you to think of like 5, 6 different pieces of short form content. Like that plank video took no time. Took time editing because I wanted them to add captions to it and some pictures, but it took no time to shoot. And now I'm treating these listings the same way that Nike would treat the way they drop a LeBron, or that like the Willy Wonka movie comes out and there's like 10 trailers. Why don't we do that with the listings? They don't all have to be, welcome to my new listing. Look at this 3-bedroom, 2-bath, beautiful house. That's okay. That's one type of video. But what about a plank challenge? What about a mannequin challenge? What about a video just about the kitchen because the kitchen is tight? You know what I'm saying? Like, what about a video just about the bathroom because like you like the bathroom? I think that with where we're at with like people's attention and what people sort of expect or what they deserve with like how much like we charge, I think there's like opportunities to make more. And honestly, it looks like I'm doing way more business. I mean, we are doing a lot of business. I'm very grateful. But like you make 5 videos about one listing, nobody fucking knows if it's one listing or 5 listings. All they see is this guy's in another house. This motherfucker's in another house. As far as the next idea, I wanted to try, stop motion videos. Have you guys seen those? It's it's like the movies that are made with like a bunch of pictures that are put together, so it's kind of like choppy.
Yeah, like a flip.
Kinda. Yeah, I tried to make, we'll see how it comes out. I haven't seen it yet, but it's not really a trend, but it was like a creative idea that I was like, let's see how this comes out with the video. So we took like 1,000 pictures of us like moving through the house, and then it'll just get put together, and I think it'll look cool, but it's fun. That's the point. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like that gets me excited. It's work. There's no doubt about that. Like I'm staying up to figure this shit out, but like it's fun. And if it's not fun, it's going to be harder to dig deeper to do. Do you see what I'm saying? So find the pieces that you think are fun. Be okay that they're hard because they're hard for everybody. Steve was talking about going to the gym. Do you know what psychologists say you should do when shit gets hard? They say you should smile. I'm serious. They say you should smile because it like tricks the chemicals into thinking things aren't as that bad. What I found is that like when I'm running like a marathon or a race or like some sort of competition or just like a workout at the gym and there's other people working out with me, when it starts getting really hard in a workout, you guys try this. Put a little grin on your face and look at people look at you. They're scared of you because it's weird. Do you see what I'm saying? And that gives you like a little bit of boost. And that's really what every day you're fighting for is like, you're not fighting to beat Krys. You're not fighting to beat Steve, Norm, Jerry, anybody. It's separation season from Steve, Jerry of last year. I am not Krys Benyamein of 2022. Following? I'm Krys Benyamein of 23. And next year's version is going to be even fucking doper. And that's the way that you guys should approach like your business plan. And I don't know, mic drop. That's what I got.
Thank you. Krys.
There's while you're talking, like I just see so many faces on here too that stand out to me. Norm, I see you freaking posting so many reels all day, every day on multiple. I mean,
Appreciate you.
you make it fun and you just walk from the gym to your car, quick 10-second, boom, that's a reel. I mean, how do you do it? But you always have a positive smile and I really like your content. I mean, Jermaine and Jerry, is another just constant reel after reel, story after story. Me and Rose, we definitely get it too. Miguel, my man, he's 1 year, a little bit over 1 year as an agent maybe, and he saw you speak in Oakland, Krys. I was on a story last night and he was posting stories of looking at a house in the dark in the rain.
I love it.
So I had to hit him up like, hey, man, that's what it takes. Like what you were saying, Krys, is like, look at what people are doing. Look at, George is over there driving, Rose is flying, Miguel's doing content in the rain. And that's why I love this group of people. We all learn from each other and we all realize like, we got to get out there and work.
Right.
Every single day. Like I was out in the rain yesterday too, and day 4 and day 4. But it's coming to a point where I'm finding fulfillment in it like I did at the gym, because my first time at the gym wasn't fun. My first 6 months at the gym wasn't fun, but then I started to get wins. I started to see improvements. And then I started to get a little natural high from that, like, ooh, this is good. So with real estate, my first year, there wasn't that many wins. And if there was, a lot of it was in my mind because of Rose, right? But once I started to just keep going to the gym, keep showing up for work, and things started happening because of me, those are the little wins. And then it would suck again. And then I get wins, and then it would suck again. And now I'm starting to find my passion, not just with the gym, but now how could I be passionate with work? And it's awesome to have a team background sometimes. Like me and Rose work really good together. Not all the time, but for the most part, we work amazing together and we divide and conquer really good, right? So find your people around you. Like if you don't have a team, you could still have a whole network of people. I talk to agents all the time now, and we could learn from each other. We could help each other. We could shoot content together, right? Use that leverage of social media too. You could reach out to anybody. Find that passion.
Amen.
Krys, you're awesome.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys so much. Does anybody have any last minute questions for Krys? We're at 11 o'clock right now.
I don't have a question, but I have some takeaway. Like Krys, like your energy, just like it translates through your video, but just even speaking live, you guys like Dream Team, like this is fire, and this is the energy we need to bring to 2024. So Krys, like when we saw you on stage, just like you lit it up, and it's exactly how it is today. So appreciate you.
God bless you, Jermaine. I appreciate you guys. Send me a message so I can find you guys on IG and follow you back. I literally am a DM away.
Yes.
Like, I think everybody has got a direct line to me. I always respond. If I lag a little bit, I'm sorry, but I will always respond. Norman, you owe me a fucking podcast interview.
Let's go. Yes, sir.
I'm just kidding. I love you guys.
Do it.
All
Thank
right.
you so much, Krys.
So,
Merry Christmas. See you guys.
Thanks, Rose
Thank
and
you,
Steve.
Krys.
Thank
You
you.
guys are awesome.
Awesome.
Everybody have a great day.
Hey, Christmas. Happy New Year.